This is a view from the metro radio station looking down. So where is that?
That's the bottom of, that's Pilgrim Street, going up to Northumberland Street.
Oh, right, the Fat Buddha below us.
Fat Buddha's just there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
we've got the Tyne Ridge.
the other Fat Buddha in there. So that's him himself. Wow.
What little bits we can, you know,
Well,
you and your way.
Yeah. Well, I send clothes to Syria. Have nothing to do with Muslims. I send the food thing. I did the flood thing for India, £5,400.
Yeah.
I've got money for the children going on Mount Everest from Excelsior. I'm very connected with Excelsior. Do you know them?
I don't know.
They're a brilliant school, you know. Visit them. They are just superb. They make ordinary children feel like Royal Grammar.
The people that we tend to, I tend to work at all of the. Well, hang on a second. Here we go. Let's get cracking. Talking to that one, Doc. Now, for a great number of you mentioned the fact that I cropped up on an organisation that I've been hugely critical of for the longest time, the BBC. However, you meet the nicest people there. I met this geezer. He's called Dr. Anand.
Yeah.
Now, we've been in the same patch for a long time. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how we've never met.
Well, when I used to do night doctor service, as all Indian doctors do, because they came to this country for the cash, like. So in the hospital jobs, you don't get paid enough, and you want a nice house in a posh area. So I used to do. And what do you think the driver and I listened to all night?
Well, bless.
Nightowls. And this is when you used to be near the metro centre.
That's right, small.
Hewwood and all those kind of places.
Yes,
remember?
absolutely.
I said, what kind of a cracker is this fellow? He just speaks the truth all the time. Honestly, we loved you because you spoke exactly as it is. You never minced your words and you just say it right in your face.
Sometimes the truth does you great harm, you know.
But the truth is, the only thing that hurts in life is the truth.
It's absolute fine. I want to find out more about you, though, because first things first.
Go on.
When I met him, we were standing somewhere beside the sage, and this guy walks up, and I introduced myself, and you're quite surprised that it was.
You said Alan Robson. I said, who's this Texan-looking fellow with a hat, shiny toes? And I said, God, is the Alan Robson.
You were jealous of those shoes.
Yes, I was.
Okay. So, but the bottom line was you were saying, have a smell of my T-shirt. It's still got
smelling tear gas.
Tear gas
Yes.
on it. Now, first of all, we know that you've all of the big charities, all of the big problems that have been in the world, even sending clothes, sending food,
Yes.
sending whatever you can. We know you're a massive humanist, I suppose.
Well, yeah.
But why did you feel the need to say, I'm going to Palestine?
I feel the need because only Muslims go to Palestine. Because it's a Muslim country being attacked by Jews.
Right.
So it's got the two attractions for most Muslims. It's for Muslims, so let's go for Muslim. And Jews are particularly disliked by Muslims and vice versa.
Right.
I thought, I'm neither. Why don't I go and see what it is like? And I tell you, it's so painful being there, how people are abused there. I mean, if you're Jewish, you go from one place to the next, which is 17 miles. But a Palestinian has to go 210 miles to traverse the same distance. Palestinians can't get cement or iron, because they'll make bunkers. For God's sakes, what will they make bunkers from a sack of cement and a bit iron, you know?
Yeah.
The lady who was taking us around and showing us, her brother had a 4-bedroom house. He managed to steal or black marketeer some cement and something, and the bulldozer came and broke his whole house. You know, forget Gaza. Gaza is terrible. I'm talking about the West Bank where things are more civilized.
Sure.
Germany has 82 million people. Israel has 8 million, so 1/10. Germany's wall is 167 kilometers. The Israeli wall is 650 kilometers. So 45 times the size for the same number of people. It's not a wall, it's apartheid, you know, apartheid. You're surrounding people and attacking them. It's just amazingly atrocious, you know, it's dreadful.
Now, you were there in the part that's supposed to be relatively peaceful at the moment.
Yes, and it's that bad.
And you still got tear gas,
Yes.
and somebody fired rubber bullets.
Yes. There is a wall which was 20. You see, when the Israelis came there, they said this is the green line, after which it is Palestinian, and slowly they are expanding. Okay?
Right.
So they made a wall, and this is a temporary wall. This is not one of those solid ones. It's just got big concrete slabs put in.
Right.
20 years ago it was made. So the Palestinians went to court and actually won. But the soldiers refused to remove it. They say Tel Aviv is where the court is. This is our court. Just
So
sheer.
even though they won in court, they still couldn't do anything?
Yes. So every Friday after prayers, the children or the young dynamic people just go and throw pebbles at the wall. That's the worst thing to do. Just throw stones at the wall, you know. Nothing more. They don't have bombs. They're not terrorists. They don't have AK-47. They don't shout Allahu Akbar. They just throw stones as a symbolic gesture of complaint. That's all they do.
Right.
It's-
Why were you shot at? Apart from talking a lot, why why were you?
Well, that's a good reason to shoot me.
No, but why were
Well, you shouldn't go to Palestine then.
I wouldn't last 5 minutes. But,
Why was I shot at?
yeah, why?
Okay. I went there and I got lost. You know, it's not flat territory. It's like
Sure.
tea gardens, terraced, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going there. Suddenly I said, God, I believe in God occasionally when I'm in trouble only. I've left my... Yeah, I only think of God when I'm in trouble. Otherwise, there's no such thing as God. I am God, you know. I had left my mobile in the bus.
Right.
I had my camera and the stand. The camera is about 600 pounds. I thought, God, if I get lost, it's already hot. My heart is racing. I bloody well go back. So I'm going back slowly. Suddenly, this fellow sees me, a Palestinian. It says press. So I said, at least I'll be secure with them. They put me in it and take me there. And then I've got 4 or 5 cameramen and my little dinky camera and my stand. I thought I'm safe. Tear gases start, and they don't only put tear gas between the wall and yourself. There's no demonstrators. We're going to just see the wall itself. So tear gas between the wall and us, then tear gas on the other side of us, then tear gas to the left side, and down a hillward slope. I ran. I didn't get caught. And to be very honest, I have a confession to make. In front of me was a girl from Ireland, and the soldier was coming from the opposite direction, never mind chasing us away, to catch us from the... And I said, please God, let her get caught and leave me. She got caught and I got left, you know. But it's amazing.
That's not very gallant.
No, I'm not gallant. When my life is at stake, I'll offer a woman, you know.
Right.
But, you know, I'm laughing, but it was very painful. And they're so mean that any pictures I took, I couldn't even bring my camera with those SD cards. Yesterday, I got all of them because I posted it to myself.
All right.
And now I'm announcing this on radio. I hope no Israelis listening. I picked up 2 tear gas shells, and instead of posting them to Dr. Anand, I posted them to the dock at the Beacon building. So suddenly 2 tear gas shells will arrive, and I hope they call the police just for a bit publicity.
My goodness. But why, again, because presumably there will be a lot of press from different countries there just because of what's going on.
They're treated just as badly.
Really?
The British High Commissioner's assistant, a brown-looking girl, originally from Saudi, I've forgotten her name.
Yeah.
She's British, you know. British passport holders. They don't care. They just fire at anybody. They're just like village hoodlums, like rogues, ruffians. They just... Okay, when we go in, there were about 10 sort of failed Christian kind of people, Labour Party people. There was 2 Hindus. There were 4 Muslims. Each one of the Muslims was held for 4 hours for interviewing. I got through. They didn't ask me anything. The girl, her name is Chandni Chopra. Because they had never met a Chopra, they thought she might be a Muslim. Right. So when they were interviewing her, what does your father do? My father is an actor in Bollywood. So where does he go to pray? To the temple. Okay, go.
Right.
As soon as they realize you're not a Muslim, they have a vengeance.
It's all just faith-driven.
Or lack of faith driven,
Lack of
really.
faith driven, yeah.
You know, I have no problem with faith, but I have a big problem with religion, a bit like you.
Absolutely.
I think people say it's not the religion, it's the people. Don't cheat me, man. It is the religion.
Yeah.
It is the religion and nothing else.
This is one of the reasons that I wanted to get you in, because religion is one of those things that we talk about on Nightowls freely. And it just seems that when you go to other parts of the world, and we briefly chatted about ISIS at the time we were together, anywhere else in the world, religion's the difference between whether you live or die.
Why?
Why? I know, absolutely.
I mean, look at this. The 3 Abrahamic faiths, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, they come from Abraham. We went to Hebron to look at Abraham's tomb, the Abraham.
Yes.
Not just any other guy, no, the Abraham,
The man.
the man himself. There were 4 people there. 4 human beings that the most important man who started it all. There was Deepu Ahad praying, my friend. There was Shumel praying, my friend. There was a disabled guy sitting quietly doing nothing, and I was filming. That's it. The steps to that place is worn with humans. You know, if you have faith, I have no problem with you praying, or if you're a good Catholic, be a good. Don't tell me. I was so sad that only 4 people were there. So I say religion is like underpants. I don't want to see it.
No, right.
It's inside you. If you're a Muslim, you don't have to have a long beard, you know.
Yeah.
You can be a Muslim. You don't need to be an Arab, you know.
When I say things like, you know, because it is very difficult, people are so set with their faith. They're
scared. They're scared.
They've had it all their life, and they don't want to give it up in
Yes.
case. In case, really.
In case what?
Oh, but hold on to this, otherwise.
Hold on to what?
Whatever it is that I've been told to hold on to. But it's all your life. You know, when you started in it as a little boy, whether it's going to the mosque or going to the church, you're told what to believe, aren't you?
You're forced to believe it. Often people say, you can be a Muslim, you can be this, but you have to first be a human being. I said, excuse me, you're wrong. I was born a Hindu. I didn't say, oh God, can I please be born in India? I was born one. You were born in a Christian crowd. You could have been born in Patna and I could have been born in Durham.
Absolutely.
So you're born in a religion. You can't help it. You're labeled at birth.
Yeah.
To get out of that hole takes a whole lifetime. And most don't succeed. I really believe that. So one girl on radio says, Doctor, what religion are you? You talk about them all. I said, look, I was born as in a Hindu family. I went to a Catholic school, which made me a staunch Hindu. I worked with a Jewish guy, Dr. Lionel Kopelowitz. But you know, when I go to the mosque, I'm as Muslim as you. When I go to the church, I'm as Christian as anybody. I just become where I am.
And also, if anybody's threatening to hold your head off, you'll be whatever you want.
Yeah,
you want
yeah. I'm a religious chameleon. But you know, really, what the hell? I mean, how do we know? You know, and the things we start believing. There I saw the skull, would you believe, of Adam. Which Adam? Adam and Eve Adam. And I said, has it been carbon dated? That they can't answer that. And then somebody said the amount of wood all around the world believing to be Jesus's crosses wood would make a ship. Everyone has a bit of his wood, you know. The Pope has got a...
walk to the moon on that wood.
Yes. So everyone's pretending, you know. It's the emperor's clothes. You know.
I've always believed... Do you know, the older you get, the more that I truly believe that the worst thing we can do is follow a batch of old books.
Well, and a book that has no second edition. I'm very close to Muslim people because there are lots of Muslims in Newcastle. I'm very, very close and we get on fine. So I rang their show and I said, excuse me, your prophet took about 23 years to assemble the Bible. He was given visions or whatever you believe that. I'm not decrying that. Yes, he did. Yes. 50 years after his death, the Quran came out. Yes. And now in NE4, children from the age of 7 till 11 mug up the whole thing in Arabic and they're called Hafiz. Yes. How much do they understand? Nothing. What's the point?
Scary.
I mean, whatever you might know of the Bible, but if you read it in Latin,
oh, absolutely.
Vini, Vini, Vici, something like that.
Translate that for me. Whoa. But somebody had it. It's been translated again and again and then reinterpreted by different churches.
Chinese whispers go wrong.
Absolutely.
Om Bhurva Swatat Savitvaranyam Bhargo. This is a Hindu prayer.
Yeah.
Allahu Akbar. Michael Jackson, I like you very much. Alan Robson, you're a lovely guy. It's the music, man. It's nothing to do with the words.
Right.
Look, and again, think of music. All over the world, we have the same notes. I was playing a flute, an Indian tune. You can play a Chinese tune. You can play a Japanese. There's flutes with only 6 holes. Why? Because music is natural. I went to the Heaton Mosque to teach music.
Yeah.
I'm a funny bugger, you know.
No, you're everywhere. You're like dog poo.
Like a rash, dog poo. Okay, I'm like dog poo. Collect me.
Not in a warm and caring
A woman. This could get into a habit, you know. So I goes there, and all the girls are sitting at the back. So I said, girls come in the front. You sit in the front. Boys at the back. Just to break the rules a bit, you know, make them think. So on my laptop, I put on a bird going tweet, tweet, tweet. And I said to this gorgeous little girl, about 3.5. I said, what's that? The bird is singing. I said, birds can't sing. They don't go to class. So what? It's natural. So I made that little girl say what is natural, you know.
Yeah.
Singing is so normal.
Yeah.
You know, birds sing for God's sakes. It's we who make it artificial. Everyone is singing. Singing is normal. But we make a thing about it. Mr. What's he called? Sam Cowell or something?
Yeah.
What does he do?
Yeah, nah.
He judges people.
Stay where you are, Doc.
Okay.
We're going to have a little bit more time with Dr. Anand. I hope you're enjoying his views. What are your views? If you want to chip in about whatever we're talking about, please do. Do it now. It's quite strange because I feel like singing Ebony and Ivory tonight.
Why?
Going into the tune because you're the nearest thing to me that I've ever come across. It's the weirdest thing. And we've just been talking about
racism.
Racism, yeah. Because there's always a bunch of half-wits somewhere that will have a go. And I was explaining to the doc that sometimes when I'm walking through various parts of the northeast where there's maybe Asian shops or whatever. Any time that there's a crime committed by an extreme nugget, you'll see half-wits shouting at people. Yes. And I've been very quick to intercede whenever you can.
Yes.
And I'm very much aware of, as soon as you see something on the news and you say, oh no.
Yeah. Because that's going to trigger off some bad reaction.
You know that Imagine if a Chinese guy in London
Yeah.
shot somebody who happened to be an indigenous, freckly
White,
ginger
spotty
boy,
ginger boy.
whatever. If some Chinese, I guarantee you that in Chinatown,
Yes.
in the northeast, or in Chinese restaurants nationwide, nobody would say you're kind coming
Yes,
over
yes, yes,
here
yes, yes,
to
yes,
do
yes.
this and do that.
yes,
and yet,
yes.
as soon as it's somebody with brown skin,
Yes.
the whole population gets.
Yeah.
You like a gully walk, and some kid shouting the whole gully walk
Yeah.
thing at some woman
But you know,
who
Newcastle-
looked at her, but she looked at him as if to say, "You're an idiot," and he was.
But you know, Newcastle is quite canny that way, really. I think I haven't met racism really. I've met it twice. Okay, let me tell you. You know, when Stowell Street was not a one-way street and there was muddy car parks and all.
Yes.
I was with my first wife then, turning left, and suddenly one fellow spat right on the screen. And it's a shock, isn't it? Because the spit is coming right at you. And I was going to turn the car and
Squash him.
not squash him quite, but scare him. And she said, "Don't be stupid. He's wearing red and white shirt. He's a Sunderland supporter and he thinks you're from Newcastle. So he's spitting at you, not because you're brown." So that was one. The other time, I do music in schools. I go and teach them sa re ga ma pa da ni sa do ti la so fa mi re do. I make them sing, okay, and I join them
You're a
and so on.
strange Julie Andrews dog.
Yeah. Julie and Julie Andy, you could say. And this 7-year-old fellow, 7-year-old, I said, "Where's this school?" He said, "You packy." I said, "Just a minute. You're 7 years old. Do you know what a packy is?" He didn't know. He ran away. And I said, I thought, what kind of parents does he have, you know?
Absolutely.
Who's already trained him at 7 in Forden to know what a packy looks like. You know, it is very sad that the children don't have any. See, when babies are born, my 5-month-old baby was licking the face of a puppy. They don't know the difference, you know. They think a puppy is me and the puppy thinks it's you. Then you get a bit older, and then I remember in my convent school, because I was in a girls' school, by the age I was 4, they realized I was a boy, then sent off to a boys' school.
Right.
There, I realized, oh, Christians are different. I'm a Hindu, I must be different. Then I went to study in St. Stephen's, Delhi, which is the most English school you could find in the world.
Right.
There I realized that I'm from Bihar, Patna, where they are Punjabis. Then I come back to Patna to study medicine, and that is the worst place because the head of surgery is saying, "Don't take the blood of a lower caste." And on the bottle it just says O, AB plus. I said, "Sir, there's no caste on this." you
No,
know.
absolutely.
So I used to rebel. Even at that stage, I would tease and kind of object and kind of stand up to it, you know. So I think we all have a duty, and we just turn a blind eye. If you turn a blind eye, you're colluding with it.
Yeah, you're accepting.
You're accepting and saying, "Carry on." I don't. If someone says, you know, in India, people tease Sikhs or Irish here or whatever. If I'm Irish, I'm Irish, but I can be quite smart, you know. You know, I'm from Bihar.
Right.
I come to Freeman Hospital, and I was going down the lift after knowing I had got the job, and the fellow says, "Gandoon." I said, "What the hell? What is he talking about?" I said, "Are you German?" He said, "No, I'm Geordie." So I thought Geordie is some kind of a disease or something. Then he said, "Look, I'm only
Talk to
teasing."
people of Sunderland.
But he says, "I'm a plaster technician. I know you got a job in the orthopedics. I'll teach you Geordie." And next morning he brought me that book, Learn Yourself Geordie.
Good lad.
Michael. And he says, "You know that lady in the 5th cubicle? She's really rough as a badger's ARSE, but she'll talk posh, you know, like Mrs. Bouquet. So when you go in the morning, she says, 'And how are you, doctor?' So you're supposed to say, 'Arit.' And that did it, you know. That really did it. And I read all Bobby Thompson videos I saw.
Yeah.
And I became part of the scene, you know. Because it is important to reach out, you know.
How can we make it better?
I think just by being honest, you know. I think, you know, there's so much that my community, my brown people should become honest. Just now I was telling them, I said, look, whether it's 2 Pakistans or 2 Palestines, we talk about it. Why don't we praise this country where it has given us lifeblood? We can speak anything. We can wear a hijab. We can wear a burqa. You can walk half naked nearly. Nobody says a thing. Let's praise that.
Lovely, like the idea. However, what I see is lots of, and yes, of course, there are skin colours from all over the world. There are black Englishmen, obviously, not just brown ones. There's every shade going.
Yes,
there.
yes, yes.
The question is, you've got a Jewish society in the Orthodox Jews
In Gateshead.
Gateshead who are completely themselves. They're going to...
That's wrong, you know.
And
I think that's wrong.
but you see, in a way, if you look at the West End Asian Muslim population,
They're a tribe in its own right.
They're there from, and I know probably for self-defense reasons. You know, you live beside your own.
Yes.
That's normal, natural, ancient tribal thing.
Yeah.
You live next to your own.
Tribal, yes.
But how do we break that down so that we live amongst each other?
I would go to the council and say, why do you put all the Bengalis on the same street? I really object to it because you're creating that divide. When you're distributing houses, why don't you scatter people? Even if they have to be near a mosque, they all don't have to be on Normanton Terrace. You know what I mean? Like, you put them all together.
Right.
Now, okay, say I'm using a Bengali as an example. Say someone is a chef. His English is quite poor. But all night he works in the kitchen with other chefs whose English is quite poor. He'll never learn English, man.
Right.
And I think the translation nonsense should stop completely. Why do we have St. Nicholas Hospital in 15 languages?
Absolutely.
It's an insult. I mean, if you're over 70 or something and you're old, even then you should try to learn English. It should be mandatory to learn the language.
Of course.
Otherwise, you remain a cripple, stuck in the house. Me speaking no English. The woman has been here for 20 years, for God's sakes. I used to work in the West End as a locum.
Yeah.
And somebody would bring a translator, interpreter. I said, excuse me, in his language, in Bangla, I would say, you work in Greg's Bakery. Yes. 15 years you've been there. And you're bringing a translator. What is this nonsense?
Yeah.
I went to Berwick upon Tweed for a motorbike license. And the fellow says, do you need an interpreter? Can you imagine me sitting on the motorbike, the fellow behind me, Haji, motorway aa gaya. What the hell, you know?
Yeah.
So it's almost like learned helplessness.
Yeah.
And the fellows bring interpreters so that if he asks for a sick note, I'll be too embarrassed to say no. Whereas privately I can scold him. But if you bring, I better behave. And I said, you know, also with people who come from abroad, you know, Angel Heights, it used to be, this woman is from there and she's speaking French, and I got language line. And she said, the interpreter from London says, she doesn't like the food. I said, tell her Dr. Anand didn't come to Britain for the culinary excellence of Britain. You know. He said, what do I say? I said, tell her you didn't come here for the food. Your daughter was raped. Your husband's head was chopped off. You're lucky to be alive and staying here and being fed.
Right.
You know, people should value this country, you know. You know, it looks after people. It's not America where only the elite get in. America's full of just elite. Here, it's an open-hearted country, you know. And we who come from abroad don't value it enough. But
yeah, we all should be proud of it.
Proud of it, yes.
But Doc, I'm going to get shut of you now because there's other people that needs talking to. But
Okay.
hey, I'm going to appear on your show as well.
Okay, yes.
Now you're on Space.
Spice FM
Now again, Space is based
at the Beacon Building, opposite the Fish and Chips and Barclays Bank, in that glass and steel.
It's one of the nicest fish and chip shops in the north.
Yes,
That fish and
Ringgrove Chippy.
It's very good.
Yes.
But anyway, I shall be there.
Okay.
We'll sort out a
Hi,
date. Bless
okay.
you. Thank
Thank you
man.
very kindly. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, sir.
There you go, Dr. Anand. Right, what are you talking about tonight? Pick up your telephones.
Muslims go to Palestine because it's a Muslim country being attacked by Jews.
Right.
So it's got the two attractions for most Muslims. It's for Muslims, so let's go for Muslim. And Jews are particularly disliked by Muslims and vice versa.
Right.
I thought, I'm neither. Why don't I go and see what it is like? And I tell you, it's so painful being there, how people are abused there. I mean, if you're Jewish, you go from one place to the next, which is 17 miles. But a Palestinian has to go 210 miles to traverse the same distance. Palestinians can't get cement or iron because they'll make bunkers. For God's sakes, what will they make bunkers from a sack of cement and a bit iron, you know?
Yeah.
The lady who was taking us around and showing us, her brother had a...
This is a view from the metro radio station looking down. So where's that?
That's the bottom of, that's Pilgrim Street, going up to Northumberland Street.
Oh, right, the Fat Buddha below us.
Fat Buddha just there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
we've got the Tyne Bridge
the
behind
other
it.
Fat Buddha in there. So that's him himself. Wow.
What little bits we can, you know,
Well,
you and your women.
Yeah. Well, I send clothes to Syria. Nothing to do with Muslims. I send the food thing. I did the flood thing for India, £5,400.
Yeah.
I've got money for the children going on Mount Everest from Excelsior. I'm very connected to Excelsior. Do you know them?
I don't know.
They're a brilliant school.
This guy walks up and I introduced myself and you're quite surprised that it was...
You said Alan Robson. I said, who's this Texan-looking fellow with a hat, shiny toes? And I said, God, it's the Alan Robson.
You
And
were jealous of those shoes.
yes, I was.
Okay. So, but the bottom line was you were saying, have a smell of my t-shirt. It's still got
Smelling tear gas.
tear gas
Yes.
on it. Now, first of all, we know that you've all of the big charities, all of the big problems that have been in the world, even sending clothes, sending food,
Yes.
sending whatever you can. We know you're a massive humanist, I suppose. is
Well,
the
yeah,
word.
yeah.
But why did you feel the need to say, I'm going to Palestine?
I feel the need because only Muslims visit them. They are just superb.
Yeah.
They make ordinary children feel like royal grammar.
The people that I tend to work at all of the, well, hang on a second, here we go, let's get cracking. Talking to that one, Doc. Now, for a great number of you mentioned the fact that I cropped up on an organisation that I've been hugely critical of for the longest time, the BBC. However, you meet the nicest people there. I met this geezer. He's called Dr. Anand.
Yeah.
Now, we've been in the same patch for a long time. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how we've never met.
Well, when I used to do night doctor service, as all Indian doctors do, because we came to this country for the cash, like. So between in the hospital jobs, you don't get paid enough, and you want a nice house in a posh area. So I used to do. And what do you think the driver and I listened to all night?
Well, bless.
Nightowls. And this is when you used to be near the metro center.
That's right, small.
Hewwood and all those kind of places.
Yes,
Remember?
absolutely.
I said, what kind of a cracker is this fellow? He just speaks the truth all the time. Honestly, we loved you because you spoke exactly as it is. You never mince your words and you just say it right in your face.
Sometimes the truth does you great harm, you know.
But the truth is, the only thing that hurts in life is the truth.
It's absolutely fine. I want to find out more about you, though, because first things first.
Go on.
When I met him, we were standing somewhere beside the sage, and